then the slightest room of change. If an action cannot be taken repeatedly, then it's not right to take all. It's about the continuity of the action that we are taking. What about the consequences that come about after that? Or who will be hold responsible? Is this sustainable? The action that we are taking. Then take the action that achieves the higher and greater value. That's why I said that if you fall back to the company will release you. What you achieve, the greater value. But the higher value does not always mean that it's the right decision. You know that? The higher value does not always. You know, sometimes the company may not be legally wrong, but they may be ethically or morally unfair. It happens in many issues. For example, you want to fire because of the recession, the company doesn't have enough money. You want to fire people, and you don't tell them when Christmas is up. They come back from Christmas, and instead of sending personal letters to them, we're going to see them in the office. You call for a staff meeting, and the staff meeting tell them that we are only keeping 3, and mention the 3 goals. So everybody whose name was not mentioned knows that he's going home. I've seen this happen before. This is very wicked. These are realities that happen, and it was just a shock. They told the people that, so 3 people are staying in the main papa, and then, so as soon as the 3 people's name was mentioned, the rest knew that. And can you just imagine that you begin the year and the first day you show up at office, this is what they are telling you. And the Christmas to you, they're doing all this from behind, and all those things. They're doing all the dancing. Risk aversion. Take the action that produces the least harm or least potential loss. And you see, the reason why sometimes people can't talk, and that's the same scenario that happened in the office I was observing. I was just consulting them. They couldn't talk because the same issue that we talk about Ghanaians, the government the second one is that it happens to everybody. But I think that it doesn't happen to everybody. You will have a legal right if you are a very strong HR. But the funny thing that the HR manager had abandoned, he had left there and asked for retirement before. So he didn't show up at work in Christmas time, he has left. He knew that if the announcement was going to come, it won't be easy. So he had left. And he was not at the meeting. So the MD said it was left with the people in the MD. We didn't do that because that's 1 month pay. He said he has even negotiated to give you 1 month pay. So if you keep 1 month pay, you better get 1 month pay. So the MD looked good. The HR manager was gone. Moved on with his life. He knew it before Christmas, putting the necessary measures and sacrificed them.
Them before Christmas.
Oh, he will say he has left so that there can be more salary. And he actually took his end of service to before he left. Where is the legal mistake here?
You should have informed them.
There's nothing there. Whatever, I have to do an association. You know what are big consultancies? Which one happen? Everybody's like, I'm a big man. Until when the payday comes and you start realizing nobody's a big man. So nobody wants to go for group this association meetings. And those are the things that you can make come together. But if it's affecting one person, it can affect everybody. But so far as what happened to you, nobody cares. And this is the attitude that we already have. So far as it's not happening to you, nobody cares. Ethically, there's no free lunch. Everything has a way of coming back to bite you one way or another. But as you said yourself, yes.
It's actually a private company.
It's okay.
I didn't hear.
You didn't hear a question? No. Do you need to hear it?
Oh, then you shouldn't have said it in class.
Let's continue. because as she may be trying to insinuate, there are ethical codes of conduct which people are supposed to follow. So these codes of conduct can come in ethical rules that guide people in what they do and what they cannot do. So that one can be one. But you see, one thing you need to understand is that the right of the company is to maximize the productivity of the workers. But there is always a chance that the company, the individuals in the company also want to do what they want. That's why when I began it, I told you that the company is a collection of individuals who left unattended in the world. Largely individuals. So we try to make this code of conduct to be able to make sure that they focus on one thing and one goal. But that's not easy. It's easier said than done. You cannot be able to always achieve. Now, taking all the different ethical challenges, we can then explore what we can then explore some of the challenges that happen in the firm. The first one was with computer information rights. In terms of privacy, individuals think that they should be left alone, and their information shouldn't be made accessible to who is not authorized to access it. Everybody thinks he has the right to privacy. So even in some firms, when you come and join, they tell you that your email address is for the firm. In fact, sending emails, make sure that you don't use it for what? Your personal discussion. And people end up using it to forward. If you don't read it, you die in 5 minutes. And these are issues that you should be careful about. That as soon as you start having discussions like that in such platforms, one thing that will happen is somebody may have the information and will forward it. I remember in the University of Ghana, the time that last year we had an issue with, in one of the halls when they tried to bring a girl and they beat the girl up. See, later on, the vice chancellor came up with the directive concerning the issue, but this was for staff only. They emailed to all the staff. And the question I asked myself, like, what if a staff has a wife or a husband who works at any of these media institutions? Now this is email. He can just also forward the email. Especially because when in the same network that they were forwarding email, they use that same network to send jokes. And they forward jokes to each other. So I kept on saying that when jokes are being forwarded and you forward the joke, you see it carries all the email addresses on the rest. So by the time you realize you find the joke, it's nice. And I start forwarding to somebody who is not part of us. But there are no ethical rules concerning it that we shouldn't do that. So I now forward it to you, who maybe I'm back in this bag, I send it to you. You also see the joke. Now I'm carrying all the email addresses to you. Chances are you may only send it to your daughter, and your daughter to send to your friend. Now when you trace it, you see all these email addresses from the vice chancellor's phone to add to you, all current to you. Now if you also decide to reply and you start going back, all the chain starts again. But there are some people who sit down, all their job is harvesting email addresses so that they can use it for spam. So think about it, when you are forwarding emails. As soon as you're forwarding and reaches you, can end it there. So that yours cannot be carried to another place.
Yeah.
So you don't receive the real.
No, you can end it there, you see it and leave it, or you start spamming it so that it gets into your spam. Unless sometimes it will never show up in your inbox. It all goes to your trash. But the only problem is that the day the guy says, you see, you know there are some friends have been sending this spam email for a long time. And now if he sends a good email, you don't even read it. But you send it there. That's what really happens. And that is why you need to be able to have the ability to control some information about yourself. Someone will not do it for you. You have to create your own information about yourself out there. I remember that I keep on pointing out that many Ghanaian firms don't do that very well. It's affecting them. For example, you're a Ghanaian firm, you are making a lot of money, you don't have a website, but people are online discussing issues about you. For example, you sell a product, like Espresso sells products. They don't have a Ghanaian website, they have a Facebook group. And every time that people go Espresso Ghana, they are getting what people are getting their blogs concerning them. And I remember the first time I actually found out one, it was by a guy called Cognando to me, who was just writing something about Espresso. After that, he writes diverse things. The next time I went to his website, he was writing something about MPPNBC. The next time he was writing something about Takrade. So one of the times I thought Espresso was sponsoring the guy, and when I saw the MPP, I said, are they MPP people? You see the impression that is creating in my mind. If you don't create a story about you, they will create a story for you there. Especially with many companies who you think that you save money by not creating websites. Your own consumers will not like something you do, they will talk about it online. So when people Google it, you take them to Ghana Web, what they are saying against your company, or a review somebody has written about your company is what you really want to discuss. So now the challenge is it is important for your own sake as a company to find some online space, at least a formal space that this is your formal communication about any issue. Otherwise, when you leave things to the media creates the impression about you, and that impression is what we left with people's mind. And with time, it gets there, and you know how the internet is like a good history of all the bad things. Think about it. I'm a white guy coming to the new Ghana. I don't know all the. It's espresso good. I type it in Google, and I type MTN good. So I want to know their services. If you don't have a website, I'll go and read what other people are writing about it. And what happens is, at the end of the day, they start affecting us. Now,
what prevents espresso from having a website?
That is where this is much more beyond me. I don't even really understand it. I'm not done any investigation. Okay, we know the marketing manager. We actually wrote a story about them, and it's been getting about their products and getting a lot of hits. And we have not actually approached any of the. We even created a whole website for them, just because people were calling. Because sometimes people were calling me too much about espresso. So I got angry. I said that I think I should just create a website. So if you come to me and you're asking me anything about espresso, you can actually go to that website. So we created this website for them. And now anybody that comes, we redirect them. So we have espresso, find us in Ghana. We took our time to find out where all the locations are. And then we did it and we left it there.
For free.
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, the fact is that when we wrote the story, my phone number was there. So some people started calling me about, oh, where is the office? Where is this? I said, I'm in espresso. So why don't you guys just create what I knew about it and I was using a product and I liked it. So this is how you see how today's world is. Consumers can go there and just do things for them. I'm not expressing myself. That's expressing. They should contact you. Do you think they think about that? I've got the freedom to also use the internet the way I want to use it. And I could, this one I can re-control. So I can also get up my money, write something bad and put it there. And you cannot sue me for it because I'm expressing myself. Just the same way somebody can go there. And that is why if you don't create the impression, somebody will create the impression about you. I gave you the freedom of information, information rights bill was in Ghana. It quite fascinated me that the country is now moving towards the NGO are working on it. What is it? The right of information, the right to information gives Ghanaian citizens the right to access information from the government. This will allow the public to know what is taking place in public offices and ability to observe policies, decisions, and conduct of civil servants. The right to information strengthens democracy. And the way it works is any Ghanaian can actually go there and ask for any information because it's within the constitution. And it gives Ghanaians the right to request for information which is held by any government agency. And it also gives the right to any person who is not even a Ghanaian to also ask for the information. So soon, the information, they said, and what is even interesting about the bullet points down there, that if you cannot write, you can actually make the request orally. And somebody there is supposed to collect it. And the right can answer you concerning that. So to some extent, as of now, we are, if this bill is passed, I don't know whether it has been passed. It has been passed, not yours. If this bill is passed, that means that you can ask these 60,000 laptops that we bought and shared across the country. I know 30,000 have been shared already. How, where do we get the money for? Because some roads have not been finished in my pocket.
And what happened?
So I'm actually go there and ask this define and tell me how it can be. You know, some JSS schools are really failing. They have about that 4 results in some parts of the whole region. 2 other countries. So what are they doing concerning teacher-pupil relationship, reducing the numbers in some of the public schools? ask for every information. And in some countries, these rights have been there for a long time. Other countries, it's not been there. And I'm happy that we are going to that. We are going towards that direction. And I just wanted to read it so that you can actually start discussing it yourself and look at some of the things that are going on in the country. And what is also good is that you can also ask for information just on visual format if it's a sound. So maybe a public base like Ghana Broadcasting, you should be able to go there and ask for some of the news that have been broadcasted already that you really want to have access to. And I know that some of them are supposed to come out with some cost by the agency which is giving it to you. For example, if it's a video they're giving to you, they will tell you how much it costs. But this works on only government agencies. It doesn't apply to the private institutions. I think so. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a good thing?
The bill.
The bill, yeah. Or to let some things come out. What's the bad side?
To some extent, some information should be kept away from the public.
Oh, really?
It's not every point that should be in the public. Just like you said, you complain, you shouldn't give everything. Government business is a serious business. So, yeah, as a nation, we can't say this.
Is it true?
So I have it.
Yeah, you have a different process.
I think the idea is good.
Yeah.
But what I'm reading here actually, it will achieve virtually small.
Why?
Yeah, because if I go through this, I can point out clearly that
They'll use something to say they won't give it to you.
yeah, not only that, you see the procedure is cumbersome.
That's true. I saw
It's
that.
very, very cumbersome. We can reduce it and make it very simple. Oh, you say they're intimidating me.
I know.
Oh.
Let's continue. Now, in the US, we have what we call the fair information principle, which guides some of the European countries and the US countries, and the US itself, on what kind of information that can be collected and how the information that can be used. Now, what is kind of interesting is that these are the principles that you should notify, if a website is collecting information, you should notify the user that is going to collect this information. And some of them do that. Some of them to also give you the consent that you should choose whether you want to belong to it or not. That is why sometimes when you see some newsletter, they write that if you want to unsubscribe from it, you can click here. It's true. Some of them claim it doesn't work. You can report them. The question is, who do you report to? Access and participation. Consumers must be able to review, contest, and accuracy of personal data. Some information portal, when they collect information, they give you an ability for you to preview the information or even edit it. Others still don't do that. So this is one point here. Then security. Data collectors must take steps to ensure accuracy and security of personal data. And this is something that comes with the banks. When they collect the data and they are putting it out there, they have to put in adequate measures to make sure that there is some security. Now, some of you could think about doing this as a research work in the future. Go to all the banking, all the 26 commercial banks that we have, and look at their website. How many of them have got privacy and user guideline statements on their website? So that privacy concerns the information that they are collecting from you, so that you can know what you are liable to and what you are not liable to. They are liable for and what they are not liable for. Most of them don't do that. Some of them think their privacy, it comes up with most of the websites are designed by templates. So it brings the template information that is there. And when I sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Sometimes even in a different language. Because when they were doing the changes, they were copying content and putting it in, and they didn't change that one. Then the last thing is that who will enforce it? We did some work on cybercrime in Ghana about 2 years ago. And we were collecting data concerning cybercrime activities. And one of the students was working in CID, the section that actually was on cybercrime. And I remember that he actually gave us access to some of the people get interviewed. And you pointed out that they themselves don't have all the tools able to monitor cybercrime. And it was a very big issue that if they are not aware of what is a crime in terms of the internet. You know, now cybercrime is very big. It starts from cyberbullying and ends on the financial fraud that you see. Those are the children are being bullied online. Their friends bully them. Some people are being bullied to the extent that they even commit suicide. Like, yes, your friend goes online and tells them, right, prove that you are gay. Or they actually hack into your Facebook page and then change your details and put some things that are untrue about you. By the time we go back to school, they laugh at you or revert them. You can turn into something else. But it doesn't, you don't think it's, actually children are going through a lot of pressure more than what they were going through in the previous year. That's why when I said that video we're watching, it's not just about us. You are already okay. You know who you are. You don't need somebody to tell you that you need to be this before you feel have a good self-esteem. But the children who are growing up, who are being influenced by this, who are so much connected to technology that they cannot do anything without it. Let's think about the day that you don't go to Facebook, or the day you don't rush me, or the day you don't check your email. You feel like there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you. And the next morning, before breakfast, you are even checking. There was a story that was yesterday, that some woman was complaining and went for a date with the husband, and the husband brought along the iPad. And he called, and while they were eating, he was chatting with her friends. And she also took her phone out and started and put it on Twitter that, what to come and see what the husband is doing. They are on a date and he's using the iPad. And they were blasting it, they actually started insulting and putting rants on the husband on it. Yeah, and the husband too went to see it. No, it didn't cause the fight, but at the end of the day, the one was saying that she was expecting him to have left everything behind and brought it. The question is that whether it's the iPad or the phone, all of you are working at still at the meeting. So why don't you both of you put it away?
Correct.
But at least I understand the sensitivity. But you know, the man would have said, I'm going to take a picture of you and put it on Facebook that we are out.
No one does.
What is the man allowed to do? But you know that the iPad will bring in other work activities. Because you're checking email, checking friends, and doing all those kind of things. By the time you realize you start working. How many of you actually open the phone line today is not about work? Forget about the friends one. Most of the phones are now because your friends know you have your office tells you that they know you have a BlackBerry now, so they can send emails about work to you, wherever you are. And even some people say, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going home, but I'll still be working. I'm still available. So we said the MPs do that. We tell you that well, I'll pass by the office 2 minutes, but still I'm available. If there's anything, just send it by my BlackBerry. And in today's world where the quality of life has changed, now you're working with an office in New York, whilst you're going to sleep, and you're going to get home, that's when they are maybe at midday, and they are actually working, sending emails. They are preparing children for school the next morning to go and sleep for the next morning. You have to go back and check your note for sleep because maybe you have sent an email asking you a question that you sent an email during the day about. And maybe it's about the transaction that has to go before the next morning. And that next morning is their next morning, not your next morning. No. If you start looking at the lifestyles we have, it's not easy. Some families are really struggling just because of that. Because 24 hours, some people have to wake up at dawn just to start working on email before they even get to work. Meanwhile, you have to catch up with the traffic because it's big at Kaswa. You wake up at 3 a.m., get ready so that you leave home at 5, you can get to work at 8. Other house duties. So you can actually take information. In the European Union, it's quite different. You need to be able to inform everybody of the information. And you cannot share information with a different country because of if the country doesn't have the same information rights that the European Union has. And these are some of the things that's actually affecting Facebook and then YouTube. And Facebook, Twitter, and then Google. They are all fighting among themselves. They are not sharing the information they have about each person. because everybody is holding for competitive advantage and for also legal reasons. And because we are not all competing with advertising based on information, how much detail you have. In fact, Facebook has much more detail that is sometimes very scary. You can think about how they are able to find your friends and bring all the networking together for you to be able to see that somebody you have not talked to about 5 years, all of a sudden shows up. And it's all because of your friends and the networks are joining in. They do all the computations together, they think you may know this. Since you know this, you know this. And that is one side. The other side is the fact that if they should combine all the three. Twitter should combine its information source and then the database with Facebook and combine it with what Google is doing. Then now Google is making you able to search based on your own preferences. So if they add all the three, the profile that we're looking about the person is going to be really serious. Because when you start looking at the kind of friends that some people spend time, have different relationships online and different relationships offline. So there are people that you connect with, if they have a problem, things happen to me, and they discuss all these issues with them. Quite sometimes it's a little bit sensitive. They discuss with them online. And when they come home to their home, they discuss things with the pastor and others they discuss issues with. Now you have conflicting advices going here and going there. If you are not a profile about a person like that, can you just imagine how much you're going to know? Sometimes it may be so scary that you yourself, you might not want to know that maybe this is what your wife is doing or your wife is doing. But it's very harmless if they are not connected together. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. If you're not connected together. And a very simple example is, I had a scenario where, and that's when I was a Jamaican, and I went to a conference, and when you have, Jamaicans are people who are quite expressive in terms of what they do. And she goes out, takes pictures, very brilliant lawyer, goes out, takes pictures of herself at beaches, and sometimes very little wearing, she's wearing very little, very minimal clothing. So and this is where, you know, we have Facebook updates are. Anytime your friends do anything, these are the things that come before you. Now I go to a conference and a professor that I've been admiring, liking so much, I meet him and I greet him and say, are you on Facebook? And I said, yes, I'm on Facebook. And log in and let me connect me, myself. You know how you always do, friend me and all those things. So here I'm logging in, the first thing that comes to me. And for 5 minutes, it's about going up or it's going down. And you know what the guy wants to watch? I want to go down. So I was very uncomfortable seeing. And at the end of the day, we found out moving up, and you know how it's old men. So I just probably like he has not seen it. So I just moved up, said his name, and he came and he made me add him. So that but the enthusiasm of conversation. So for years now, I left the conference thinking what the man thinks about me. Then I realized that later on, Facebook started bringing a new, you can mute status updates from certain friends and you don't want them to show up on you. Yes. So I went to mute everybody that I have has potential. So because when you are more academic, you have to be very careful how you present yourself. Yeah. But see, you are also human. So now people have 3 accounts: the office account, the home account, and then the old school account, where the old boyfriends, the old girlfriends can be discussed. So that the home account, your wife can see, the children can see. The office account, he's a good guy, he's a good manager. Then the old boys account, you check it once in a while when he's on track and all those kind of stuff. Yes. So you have to separate lifestyles. But it's the same way that we have that. And what makes it scary is the fact that some of these platforms are what we call cookies. And they give information about what you are doing. That's why when you go to certain websites, it comes back and say, hello, welcome back. And it's telling you that because it has information about what you do. I'll just show a scenario right here. When you visit any website, what happens is that your computer hits a server and it sends information about you. So the first information is sending about the computer you are using, the kind of browser you are using to do it. And then it will drop a cookie. What we call a cookie is like a small text-based a text file on your computer concerning the website you have visited, what time you visited it, what address and how you came in, and the details about you. So then you also create, maybe you log in and create an account. So your account ID goes in. And then it will also update the cookie with the account ID. So next time you come back, you see that saying welcome Joe. Because the pills, without even logging in, the thing logs you in. And most of you do that. You have logged into your Yahoo for years now. Anytime you click on your machine, it always automatically logs in. Now the chances are, if you leave your laptop or your office computer there, that you have been using that way. Today you don't come to work, I come to use it and log in. As soon as I log in, it will log into your chat messages or your MSN and to start logging into that one. Then it also log into your email. Now if you don't have a very good person who is ethically conscious about the machine, the prepares, whose information is reading, you can just go straight to your email. And in today's world, when people are looking for people's jobs, looking for the next promotion, the carbon trying to hit you and hit you and if you get your information, it might not be good for you. Some people can even send emails on behalf of us to others. So you need to be very, very careful that if you are not using this, the computer does not belong to you. What I say belong to you, it's not like the house computer, like your personal one that you control access to it. What we understand what I'm trying to say. It could actually affect your very lifestyle. Because when you do something innocent, sometimes it might not even be you. Your friend comes and sit on it, you do something on it, and the next time you give to another friend, it is you are the one doing that. Like if you have a computer right now of yours, I can trace all the historical things you have been doing. And then you start looking at, oh, this person, should we trust him or should we trust him? That's the kind of questions they start asking. And especially guys who share the same email accounts with people they are in relationship with. Sometimes it's not very wrong. It looks as part of the relationship family and stuff. And then sometimes it's quite sensitive, especially if you are an MBA, you are sharing, getting into some high important information about a company. And maybe your wife or your girlfriend has access to it. You don't know when you may open it at the wrong place at the wrong time. It could have caused a lot. And those of you also use your husband's name as your passwords, which makes it very easy for us to be able to guess. Some of, as soon as you become a personality, you can know the kind of password it's using. It's either his name and her daughter's name, or some date of birth, and all those things. So you have to be very careful, a little bit sensitive about what you do. This is what I was talking about, that you should look for the privacy statement in the websites of some of the internet companies that you, the internet banking platform that you use, where they put how they protect you and how much they are willing to take onto themselves in case there's any security breach. Now you also have property rights. Who holds and owns the information that is on the website? Now this is another big issue. There are some firms that, let me just say a typical scenario. You are working in a company, and by virtue of what you are doing online, the company gets some contract. But you were to find the supplier, you are doing something online, something, you don't know what the company does, and the company gets a big contract. The question is like, you did it as an employee of the firm, but the company is getting a lot of work. And it doesn't mean that you should have done it, but you did it and the company has not gained some value. Are you entitled to any benefits from the value the company is going to bring you? You see, that's what every company will say. But when it's become technical information, that I wrote something, and maybe the way I wrote it is what it is made after the contract, it becomes very sensitive. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's like a marketing manager is telling you that because he wants to talk to the other marketing manager and that is why they are giving us the money. Not because the company is on. It is how, maybe because we are put to work together or we are absolute together, when it is very easy for me to be able to link up with you. We went to the same school, it's very easy for me to chat with you. But then, that opened up the conversation and I closed the deal. 10%. But we have that challenge now. Because some of the information is digitally communicated, who really owns the value that is coming out of it? Who really owns? And now somebody can also pick that information and say, I wrote it, plagiarism, taking somebody's content and saying that it's your content. It happens that way. So we have three types of property that comes into play. The trade secrets, and intellectual property belonging to a business but not in public domain. Copyright, a statutory grant protecting intellectual property from being copied for life, sometimes 70 years. Patents, grants, creator of invention or an exclusive monopoly or ideas of an invention. And this is what many of the companies have been fighting on. No, Apple has been fighting with Samsung that they are copying their design and layout. And because of that, they banned Samsung from selling products in Germany and other European countries. Because Apple won over them. Apple said that their phones and their devices look exactly like what the iPhone is. And they took their innovation from them. In fact, they even said that the former Apple head, she just swore that he would bring Samsung down. And maybe he died before he could do that. Anyway. But these are some of the truths that comes out. And many the challenging issues that we have is with grants and copyright is how much can you hold onto something that is yours. In some countries, you lose your copyright over a particular product over in a lesser amount of years than 70 years. For example, I know in Ethiopia and I think in India to be specific, if you are a publisher, you bring a textbook there. The government gives you, I think, 10 years to translate the textbook into the local language. 10 years or 5 years, one of them. If you are not able to do it, anybody can take the book and translate to the local language and make money from it. So one printing company took it and changed all the James Bond books. And he made a lot of money. And watch sometime when the books were finished, he started writing his own James Bond story. This is a true story. Actually, I was in the intellectual property conference and we were talking about it. And his editions were more interesting and they were buying it more than the earlier ones he did. So watch sometime the James Bond family, the royalty owners, had to actually come to some negotiation with the company in India on how to, the stories that Fleming didn't write himself, how they can do something about it. But this is the truth. He wrote the one, he became so good that his version, his MIT is no version.
I expect that copy.
He is no country.
What is that? I expect.
So you are killing some number of years. If you don't translate it, they will tell you to do a business and do it on your behalf. And you never get a dime on it. So when you go and launch a book there, you are actually encouraged that you have to change it into Indian language version. And then they are about more than about 10 languages. So you can just think about it. And most of them are formalized. The challenges with intellectual property rights. This is one all of you are doing. Copying of music. I don't need to talk later about this. Obwa has been crying about this for a long time. They are stealing their music. Now they want to go to iTunes to test their music anymore. But it's a big issue. Most of the music is very easy for people to duplicate. So anytime anybody has a CD, nobody buys CDs anymore. Yeah, what's on your pen drive? They put it, they share it. So the musicians are now thinking about the fact that now they have to make the songs themselves. So some of them now go to certain websites and upload it so they can actually get it from there. Or they put it on their Facebook pages. So apparently it seems that they're now making only money from their shows and the invitations they get. Not much more on the song they release. It's on the sales from the song. But in the shows, like he goes a tour in Canada or a tour in the US or the UK, he gets paid well. I heard that number was paid £40,000 for a show he did in the UK during the Christmas. The headline went, Lumba made £40,000 in the night. But you should understand it. It's not, what you go to him will be about 20,000. You have to pay organizers, you have to pay backup singers, stage set up, all this kind of stuff. You only get good money when you are invited to a festival. That one they set up everything, they just show up. See, what is even sad about ours is that people come and mind, they even sing a song. So they are not getting the value. Because some of them, you put them there to sing the song truly. They'll be trouble. They'll really be trouble. They can't mind. But there are better copyright regulations concerning the music industry. And it's very difficult. Sometimes the big challenges that companies have been having is that who do you actually sue? Especially in the US, they write to the university that they have found out this IP is downloading a movie from a movie which was made by Winner Boss. If you want, this is the first one, the second one, third one, and you'll tell the university. But they can't come to the school to come and already invest in the students. So the university also writes to the student and say that this is your first one, second one, the third one, you hand you over to them as an individual. So the university will not take, but the university has to show a process that they want you. Otherwise the university will be held liable that they are using their network to promote such piracy. So they have to warn them. But Ghana, where would it come from? So who do you hold accountable when things fail? When softwares fail? Recently there was an issue with Comet. Comet is a shop in electronic shop in the UK. And Comet was being sued by Microsoft. Why? Because for over 2 years, Comet was producing, according to Microsoft, illegal Windows software and selling to consumers. And the Comet says that they didn't produce illegal. What happened is, when you buy a laptop from them, nowadays they don't add the installation CD to it. They put it as an image on some other drive. So you see there are two drives, drive C and drive D. And that's always they put on the D. But consumers don't like that. They want a CD that anytime there's a problem, they put the CD inside. So Comet was doing this, that anytime they sell a laptop, they copy their image of the CDs for people. So those who don't know much about computers, they can still have a backup CD to be able to do, in case the machine breaks down, to do the recovery themselves. Microsoft says that it's against their rules, that they are actually, but because Comet was selling it at a little, it's not at the price, but it's an extra work. At least I buy my CD and completely some work. So he was charging them, and Microsoft said that they are selling their software. Now, whether they are not even selling it at the price that they sell the software, they think you are selling them and they are going to sue them. Now, who has wrong something? One way, he's helping Microsoft sell computers. He's promoting the Microsoft name. The money is not, but you bought me the laptop, you didn't have a CD, so I have a problem. For you see, you know your customer, serve your customer, in the ability of trying to help your customer. Go and extra mile for the customer.
So, in most of this is written that it cannot be stored either electronically in the hard copy or whatever without a written consent of the
according to them, they contacted Microsoft on this twice, and Microsoft didn't give them any definite answer. In fact, they can't give a definite answer because Microsoft is not the one who puts the software on it. It is maybe Toshiba who are going to buy it and create the image and put it there. So the producer or the manufacturer of the computer is the one who should have produced a CD to add to it. But now the manufacturers too are spending too much money because Microsoft charges them per every computer you are putting Windows on it. That's why they keep on making money. In fact, they make millions of dollars on web every second. Because every time you are producing any computer and they even put that trial version, they sell it to them. So they make, that's why people really get angry about Microsoft when they are talking too much. Because the money they are making, and this is individual purchases. Think about the corporate licenses too, the one you have to buy for 1,000 computers. Remember that sometime a company here, Microsoft branch was coming around. And I was in the company doing some interview. When the MD got to know about it, he called the IT guy. The IT guy said, carry the computer that had all this pirated. I'm going to put them in some room. And then they left a few computers there that were original. They came with them, they left it there. Because, to tell the truth, everybody has this guy in there that has that CD. that can install Windows about 8 times on every computer. You know it. You see, the one that you are using, between me and you know that it's not the correct thing. But you still need it. And you cannot bring out about $150 to go and buy a Windows machine. Windows. You know, even getting your salary is an issue. Like when people are 150 for just Windows. The software, the book you are using, they sent $170 to the students there.
Wow.
And the CD, they sent about 75. No, it's about $40 to the students there. This same thing comes to Africa and they are selling 36 Ghana cedis, 35 Ghana cedis. What has changed?
The quality of paper. The quality.
Not really. Okay, they have the hard copy, the hardback for the US.
Yeah.
Oh, but still, they are still the software.
No.
They have it for pharmaceutical production, you know. You buy it, when it gets to Africa, it's subsidized. Okay, the grade 1 up to grade 7, then they bring grade 7 here. Grade 1 to US, grade 2
So you want a generic you get
So there's a return and the generation. Let's round up. He was actually emphasizing about the fact that some of the products in the market, there are original and the generic ones. And there are some cheap ones. All of them with the same ones. And sometimes you need to be able to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get to know what is the original and what is the generic ones. Anyway, one other aspect of challenge that we have is on the system quality and then the systems that we use to solve. Sometimes all the systems come with bugs and errors. And that can cause a much loss to a lot of people. And sometimes they fail to deliver information on time. There are many scenarios that when information is not delivered on time because of a system error or unavailability, like you go to the bank and you tell you that everything is down. The system is down. And you have moved all the way, you have to go to another branch. And it happens to you that way. And sometimes it brings a lot of confusion. Especially when information does not be delivered on time. Especially if information is not delivered to you on time. But these are some of the scenarios that come up. Questions that you can ask yourself is who then bears the consequence or the responsibility to deal with this? Who is accountable for it? If the system is down and it actually causes something, me to lose some money or lose some efficiency. And sometimes some of the system being down is also come from internal errors. There was an issue in the bank that, you know, when they pay your salary, everything that comes after the point, the pesos, this guy started, they bring this Excel sheet that the company sent you. And you are supposed to use the Excel sheet to know how much you pay every month. So you calculate it, all the points, all those ones goes to his account. Then you pay the full lump sum into the account. So there's this guy who is not being paid a lot, who went to check his account. And you look at the pay slip and then I get it, they see that the point would have moved him to the but it didn't move him. So consistently, after 3 months, he realized that there were been discrepancies in that aspect of it. And he pointed out to the company. Then they came to this bank and they came to find out. And they investigated and realized the guy who was actually calculating had been doing that. He had been just been taking and then I cleaned and did it back to the bank. That is so nice. The guy was actually fired and they had to refund some of the money. But No, this is 3 months. Now you can think about it that if it's not continuing for about a year, the guy resigns and leaves the country. It goes that way. But it happens a lot, even in the UK and the US, it's even much more serious with credit cards. Students come, most of the students who get scholarships when their parents don't want their money, they come and they, instead of paying the full school fees, they put the whole thing in the bank. The good thing about it is that when the bank, this UK and the US bank, sometimes they make mistakes. I saw somebody puts like $20,000 into his account. It makes the guy look very credible because the student started with $20,000. And he rather puts a standing order of maybe $2,000 to the school every 3 months. Now, he could have actually paid them maybe $8,000 straight away, but he put much of his money here and he's paying it that way. It gives him some credibility, the money is there, and that makes them give them credit cards with a large. So these guys start getting maybe $2,000, $5,000 credit cards or £5,000 credit card. Then they pay the school fees before they finish school. While the cash, you know, you can cash from the money. Come back to Ghana. And they write it as bad debts. Because it will cost the company more than £10,000 coming. I know somebody who took 10,000 to Pakistan, another person, a couple that brought 50,000 to Ghana. That was between the two of them. And they said they will never go back. But the question is, you come back, you are working night, and you give maybe a conference, now you are an empty, go to the UK, and then after you go and you can say, to surprise you that when you are living out there, the kind of passion will go to people lose anything about conscience. I tell you the truth. There's nothing about conscience there. So when sometimes people are in Ghana, oh my God came back, and my boy came back, and he came to give me a car, came to give me a book. Do you really know the business? If you calculate it and you look at it between him paying his rent and paying his school fees, and if his school fees £10,000, and he's giving security, which pays the best, and he's getting like £1,500 a month, how can he actually be sending you £10,000 or bringing that much money home? Sometimes I don't know why we don't do the calculation and see that there's something more to it. But see, because you are seeing the money, he is better than the other you can calculate it yourself. You don't need any mathematics. You are not doing the MBA. You should know how much you are paying, what you are going to do. And somebody finishes it and everything and come back home to with the last sum of money. And he used to go and he comes back up to offering the church. That he looks good, he is a new car. Ask yourself these questions. And you may like to so ask yourself these questions. Yeah. Oh no, it's true. People they end up having mortgages for homes and then they take a big loan on it and they vanish. And they do it very well. They do it very well. Because it's a long-term call. You don't do it small. Very long-term. Take your time, manage the rest that you vanish and don't get about you to around. And that is how it is. So you can actually live for yourself. Don't actually take everything from the face value. Yeah. That's why you see some of the ministers telling us that their C's and their reports are missing by some of that. The last one is the quality of life. What I want to emphasize is the employment engineering. How the fact that we are now working longer hours. All because of the same technology was supposed to let us work shorter hours. Some of you have to stay home to the bank and then do balance books, spend time, and you get home, by the time you get home, it's already about 10 because of the traffic too. The next morning you are up around 4. I asked them whether they even have lives. For Saturday to go to the yeah, it's a choice. The other one that is don't worry, don't habit, and it's actually affecting other schools. Some people are quarreling more because they are all tired. Not because they are angry with each other, they are all tired. They are just tired. And when they get home, they cannot. You just want to have peace. Not that somebody to come and tell you know what happened here. You are just tired. And that's the reality that, and it's going to continue. The best way is maybe phone your own business. Yeah, then you can sit at home and wake up and go out. And come back. But it's been interesting looking at the ethics from this perspective. And the challenge that we have been having is understanding the fact that we can't solve all the issues, but we need to be able to know the differences between the challenges and know what to do at one time. That's why I was emphasizing on this one. That you should always know what to do in these scenarios. Whenever there's an issue concerning an ethical issue in the firm or concerning IT or concerning technology, you need to understand it very well, identify the conflict areas, who are those who are going to be influenced and affected by this, identify the stakeholders, identify reasonable options, and the potential consequences of these options. So I think the next thing I'll be teaching you will be what can we do about it. I will have to go into this in the next 2 sessions and come back here and teach. I think sometime.
If you ask a parent, they might call it intuitive. If you ask a musician, they might call it inspiring. To a doctor, it's groundbreaking. To a CEO, it's powerful. To a teacher, it's the future. If you ask a child, she might call it magic. And if you asked us, we'd say it's just getting started.